Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Scott, and today we're painting the Hearthkin warriors from the new Leagues of Votann army for Warhammer 40k. Super excited to get to paint these models, been waiting for them for quite a while, so let's go ahead and dive into how I painted my Hearthkin warriors. Before we can paint this model, we need to prime it, and I've used Pewter Gray Paint Plus Primer from Rust-Oleum. The first thing we're going to do on this project is we're going to take Rakarth Flesh, and we're going to use this as the base color for the jumpsuit that the dwarf is wearing underneath his armor. Once we're happy with that base color, we're going to take Seraphim Sepia and we're going to use this as an all-over wash on all the areas we painted with the Rakarth Flesh. After we've allowed that shade to dry, we're going to take Rakarth Flesh again and we're going to layer this over all the raised surfaces of the clothing on the model. Now we're going to paint all the leather parts on the model using Rhinox Hide as the base color, and just be careful not to get this on the tan clothing that we've done previously. We're going to shade all of the leather parts of the model using Agrax Earthshade, and you can go as heavy as you'd like with this shade. It won't make too much of a difference. Once that shade is dried, we're going to take Mournfang Brown, and we're going to use this as an edge highlight on all the leather parts of the model. Before we do any of the armor, we're going to want to make sure we paint the face on our model. I'm using Cadian FLeshtone as the base color for this, as well as any other skin that's exposed on the model. Now we're going to shade the skin using Reikland Fleshshade, and we're just doing a light wash here. We don't want to go too heavy and blur the details of the face. Once the shade is dried, we're going to take Kislev Flesh, and we're going to use this to highlight all the raised ridges of the face and the fingers. It's time to begin working on the armor on the model, and I'm using a custom mixture for this. I've mixed 1 part Stegadon Scale Green to 2 parts Kabalite Green. Now for the armor, we're going to do a pin wash, and we're using Coelia Greenshade. You could do an overall wash if you wanted to, but it's going to darken down the armor, and I didn't want that. Once we're happy with the shade and the recesses, we're going to take Kabalite Green and we're going to begin edge highlighting all the armor, and we are going to do a second layer of highlighting after this, so this first layer doesn't have to be super fine and controlled. Our second layer of highlighting is going to be done using Sybarite Green, and this time we do want to make sure that our lines are fine and only on the ridges where we think the light would catch the most on the armor. Now we're going to do a secondary color on the armor, and we're going to use Mephiston Red as the base coat. We're going to paint this on the shoulders and arm guards, as well as the helmet of the model. Now, for all the red armor, we're going to shade it similar to how we did before with a pin shade, but this time using Carroburg Crimson. Once we've finished with that shade, we're going to take Evil Sun Scarlet and layer this over the flat surfaces of the armor. This is going to brighten up the armor and help us also fix up any spots where we overdid it with the shade. Next, we're going to take Wild Rider Red, and we're going to use this to highlight the most raised ridges on the armor, and this is going to help really define where the edges of the armor are. At this point, we are done with the armor on the model, so we're going to start working on some of the details. We're going to start with Leadbelcher. We're going to use this to paint the weapon of the model, as well as some of the details on the armor and backpack that we want to pop out from the green armor that we did before. Next, we're going to take Retributor Armour, and we're going to use this to paint any of the emblems or kind of decorative bits on the model. We're also going to take Balthasar Gold, and we're going to use this to paint any tubes or conduits that come off the model. You might also paint just any decorative bits that you want to do in a different color. We're going to shade all three of the metallic colors we just did using Agrax Earthshade. You don't want to go too heavy here because it will turn your metallics brown. Once that shade is dried, we're going to take Gahenna's Gold, and we're going to use this to highlight the raised surfaces on any of the parts we painted with gold previously. We're going to paint the casing of the rifle on the model using Contrast Black Templar. Now, you could also just use Abaddon Black if you wanted to. Black Templar was just more readily on hand at the time that I painted this model. Next, we're going to highlight the casings of the rifle using Dark Reaper. As we're getting close to the end of this project, we're going to paint the plasma knife that the model is carrying, and we're going to use Squig Orange as the base color for the blade. We're going to do a second layer of base coating on the knife using Trollslayer Orange, and we're not going all the way up to the edge of the blade with this second color. Next, we're going to take Averland Sunset, and we're going to use this to highlight the inner edge of the blade, and at the same time we're also going to go and base coat the light that is on the chest plate of the model. We're then going to take Yriel Yellow, and we're going to use this to just highlight the very edge of the blade, as well as put a dot in the center of the light on the chest plate. Finally, we're going to take Casandora Yellow, and we're going to do a heavy wash of this over the blade, and this is meant to blend all of the colors we've just painted on the blade together. You might need to do a couple coats of this. And with that, we finished painting our Hearthkin warriors. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, go ahead and like it, and then subscribe to my channel so you can see future videos I make. I want to give a special shout out to my channel members who make these videos possible. If you would like to become a channel member, just hit the join button below this video. As always, have an amazing day, and we'll catch you in the next one.